So today I got another topic. Let's just say that much, sort of. I don't know. The last couple videos, I kind of had the idea of what I was doing with them all at once, mostly because I just wanted to watch those movies since they were things I like to reference and a couple topics that I felt were important to say. This video here, and probably the one next to it, them two are in their own little bucket. But it's basically this video about waiting. In some way, it's about patience, though I didn't really write too much about patience. But it's about waiting in the sense of, waiting for an answer, waiting for a decision, or waiting for somebody else. And just the fact that waiting is very difficult. Like, I don't know, I mean, with waiting you're not really doing anything, I guess, right? But in general, waiting's usually includes some pretty stressful period in life, like waiting for test results, waiting to hear back from a job, waiting to hear from another person, etc. And so obviously nothing may be physically happening, but I would say mentally a lot is happening. In the research portion that I did, I got introduced to this Zygarnik effect. I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly. It's a weird name. Basically, an observation that unfinished tasks tend to remain active in our minds, and the brain dislikes incomplete stories, which I definitely can agree with. Like, whether it comes to an unresolved conversation, some decision that hasn't been made, a future that hasn't been determined. The idea is just that a brain keeps returning to them because it wants closure. So that ultimately might be one of the reasons why waiting feels exhausting. It's not just letting the time pass. It's the fact that something remains unanswered. And in my review, like, some psychologists argue that uncertainty can be more stressful than negative outcomes because uncertainty prepares us from preparing. But at least for me, I do not agree with that statement. Like, for me, nice way to say it is that bad news feels worse. When I receive bad news or whatever, it's like, it feels like an immediate hit in the stomach, some kind of physical pain. And then uncertainty is, it might not be better, but I guess it stretches out the experience. Instead of one painful moment, it becomes dozens or hundreds of smaller moments spread across a couple days or weeks. So, I don't know, I feel like they ultimately just hurt differently. Bad news like a wound while waiting is an ache. What's a decent analogy I got from the thing? And and I don't know what the hell this thing was thinking about because they recommended Arrival as an example about waiting, a movie about an alien arrival, and then I watched it and I did not get any of what it was talking about. So I feel like I watched that movie for, well, it was an okay movie, but I did not get whatever this thing was claiming about its themes and of patience. But who cares? Anyways, beyond that point, I mean the other two previous movies that I've already discussed actually have, at least I would say, more clear themes about waiting than that movie did. It's like clearly bad example, but it's just, clearly in Eternity, one of the characters, Luke, actively waits decades for the chance to be reunited with someone he loves. And, well, it doesn't go in his favor. So, bad example for him. And then in Everything Everywhere All at Once, the waiting is different. Wayman spends, who knows, years trying to communicate with Evelyn. He waits for her to see him. And in general, the movie is filled with people trying to connect while struggling to understand each other. Luckily for him, it seems like, he does get seen by the end of the film. And so for him, it works out. But, maybe sometimes I'm not sure how to do this transition. But recently, this is just my example. I had it in my mind that I wanted to send a message to someone. Like, I had set a specific date and time in my head, and I was like, I'm gonna do it at this date and time. We're talking to a friend. I decided to, like, I just randomly mentioned it, but I stuck with it. That basically just a rule with my friend. If I saw a pink car, I would send it. If I saw a pink car, that was my sign that I should send it right then. If I see it before, I'm gonna send it at 1 p.m. today. And it doesn't matter if it doesn't make too much sense. But I wanted some external force to show me basically that it was the right decision. Something bigger to tell me what's the correct choice. Basically, I've been waiting to do that, right? Like that's where the waiting comes in. But I quite actually saw a pink car. The point of it being a pink car is that it would have been a very rare, uncommon probability. Because how many pink cars do you see? Maybe they're more common in some cities than others, but in this city, I don't think I would have counted on there being a car, you know? But at that time, 1 hour after the time I was kind of just anticipating ending it, I actually saw a pink car. I got the sign that in my head corresponded with that it was gonna be the right choice. But I still didn't send it. I still didn't send it because ultimately I wanted some sort of certainty. And it's a pink car. It's not enough of a certainty. I don't know that it's gonna be a good decision, you know? Like throughout the day, I sort of had mentions of like themes of resistance. And with themes of resistance throughout a good portion of the day, maybe, you know, it still wasn't the right call. I really don't know, but I just didn't go through with it. It doesn't stop the fact that I really wanted to. I had been thinking about this, a particular message, for the past couple days, but the problem is just mostly I don't know which version of me is right, you know? One side says to reach out, like, what if I wait too long? I might regret that. And then the other side is just, I should respect the space. And if I don't wait long enough, I'm gonna regret that instead. And neither side can really prove itself correct until it happens on its own or it's too late. And, you know, that just makes it really difficult. Because I'm not gonna know what's the right answer. This is the only real place where I feel like that Arrival movie makes sense as a connection. Because the protagonist in Arrival basically learns a language that lets her see her entire life at once in parallel, and she quite literally uses that in some way to look into the future, or she gets pulled into the future to see what it is that she did, the exact words that she used in order to get the outcome that ultimately saved the day for the movie. The like ideal everyone that's saved from the aliens. And obviously it's just a movie. We don't get that luxury. And I wish we did. I don't know, because ultimately to know what the actual correct decision is would be nice. And I mean, there's other themes in that movie. I mean, the themes is ultimately that one of the major moments. This is a movie from like 2016, so like you know. But one of the major moments is really kind of the major moment. It's just the fact that the main character's daughter dies young. I think it's some sort of bone marrow issue. There's a word I'm looking for in my head, but it's not coming to me right now. And it's presented in the movie as if it was in the past, as if it was something she already lived through. But we learn throughout the movie this was actually wrong. She never had a daughter, at least not yet. She had a daughter in the future. Whenever she's thinking about this daughter that she has, she's looking into the future. And ultimately, she still chooses that life, even though she knows what's going to happen to her daughter at the end of it. And, like, the one connection that makes that movie relevant to the rest of the movies that we've discussed here before. But either way, I'm just not making the movie as big of a portion of the script as it was before. But I got sidetracked. The point is, I have been waiting, and despite the quote-unquote sign, I have chosen resistance, control, to not send the message. Not because I don't want to, because I really do. But I cannot know how somebody else is going to interpret that behavior. And ultimately, that's the scariest part. And I hate not doing anything. Like, I sincerely hate waiting and not being able to do something. Doing something feels productive, you know? That's ultimately why I've been doing these videos, you know? It's not nothing. I started walking to group myself, yes. Not specifically for me, but I know it benefits me. And it's at least something that feels productive to do while I wait. And I still don't know whether reaching out would be the right choice or whether waiting is the right choice. I don't even know how long I have to wait for. So the best I can do that I've been able to manage to do is these videos, you know? Because I don't know. They're meant to do something. Who knows if they actually do the right thing? But I don't know. That's like the whole issue, right? Is the thing that I'm wanting to choose to do going to make the situation worse? order to make the situation better. And history shows I am awful at making that decision. So, I don't know. I am ultimately willing to do whatever is in my power to do the correct thing. But what the correct thing is, or what is the correct thing for me to do for X or Y thing to correctly happen, I don't know. Sort of just been a struggle forever. So for now, is all I can do wait? I mean, if time is what the other. If time is what is necessary, then I guess the best I can do is do that. And hope it was the right decision. Hope that there will be some end to the waiting. And that it will be something positive at the end of it all, instead of something negative. I don't know. Did I leave the point with this video? Sincerely, I just knew I wanted to talk about waiting. Because that's all I've been doing the past couple days. It has not been easy to really focus on anything else with this uncertainty looming over my head. Where I'm clearly hoping that something will get resolved, but nothing's really in my power to see that happen. I really wish there was more I could do, but when I did try to do something, it didn't work. So I don't know. Waiting sucks. Each day I continue to still want the same thing. And I've said it so many times before. Basically, a motto. There's nothing more I can really do except hope. Hope that I am doing the right thing. I certainly have no clue if I am or am not. I spent the last night until like 1 a.m. looking for that pink car. I spent the whole morning after and up until the afternoon looking around whenever I could. See what if I did get that particular sign? And surprisingly, I got it. Ultimately, I still didn't do anything because I don't know what would really happen. You know, I'd rather not mess things up even more. There's not much of a way for me to know if it would have or not. Everything is no more than a guess. Well, I plan to continue to wait. And hope that I chose the right decision. And that what I've been hoping for I don't know. It's I think I lost the train of thought here. I don't know, this one clearly didn't have as much of a direction as I had hoped. It's mostly just the fact that I wanted to do something. I had planned to do something. I'm deciding to wait because I don't know what would happen if I did do it. I hope you've been enjoying the castle so far. I think that this section right here is my favorite part. I don't know, I think that the tower came out pretty nicely. Wouldn't you? I don't think I have much more to say. I wanted to have some better thesis. Something to more clearly be thought provoking. I don't think I got it in me for this video though. I'm just waiting. And if that's what I gotta do, then I hope I'm right. I was gonna say something else, but I already forgot. Wish me luck. That's it.